Tonight, 3 terrifying stories from the forgotten wings of America's hospitals. Places where pain lingers, secrets live, and sometimes the dead don't leave. I was admitted to St. Mercy Hospital after a car crash. My family promised to visit. Nurses smiled, but behind their eyes I saw exhaustion. Maybe something else. My first night was restless. I heard footsteps in the empty hallway. Shadows passed under my door. I pressed the nurse call button. No one came. The next bed was supposed to be empty, but I heard whispering, soft, desperate. When I looked, the sheets were twisted, like someone had tossed and turned. In the morning, my name was missing from the whiteboard. The nurse seemed surprised to see me, like she didn't remember admitting me at all. My family didn't come. When I called, my mother said, "You were discharged yesterday, right?" My room felt colder. I begged the night nurse for help. She whispered, "Not everyone here leaves. Some get forgotten. If they stop calling your name, you vanish." I watched my reflection fade in the window. My hands felt colder, the world less real. No one looked at me in the hallway. My hospital records were gone. I wandered the halls, searching for anyone who could see me. The further I walked, the stranger the hospital became. Hallways looped, clocks spun backwards, distant cries echoed. In an empty room, I heard one last whisper. "You are not alone. There are others." Shadows gathered, silent faces in the darkness. Sometimes on quiet nights, nurses see my bed occupied. My name never returns to the board. In St. Mercy Hospital, some patients are never discharged. Night shift always felt longer at City View General. Most nurses hated the graveyard hours, but I didn't mind the quiet. My name is Amy. I always clocked in just before midnight. There was one part of the hospital everyone avoided after dark, Ward B4. Patients called it the cold hall. No one ever wanted to be assigned there. That night, my supervisor handed me the B4 clipboard. "Just cover until 4 a.m., she said. Eyes not meeting mine. My stomach tightened. The first room was marked Patient X. No chart, just a shadow on the bed. The air felt colder. I wrote my notes quickly, refusing to look at the face. At 2:14 a.m., the ward phone rang, static on the line, then a whisper, "Don't leave me alone." The line clicked dead. Caller ID, my own desk phone. I checked the hall. An orderly, Mike, was supposed to be on rounds. His cart was there, but he was gone. Only his flashlight lay spinning slowly on the floor. Room 17's door, always locked at night, was wide open. Inside, an empty wheelchair faced the wall. Scratched into the paint. It's still here. I ran to the security office. The night guard replayed the last hour's footage. Nobody entered Ward B4, but a dark shape flickered in and out of each camera. The senior nurse grabbed my arm. "Never answer if someone calls you by name in B4 after midnight," she whispered. "No matter what, don't look at them." Back in the corridor, I heard my name. Amy. Drawn out. Wrong. Echoing through the vents. The lights flickered. The temperature dropped. A dark shape formed at the end of the hall. Taller than any person. Faceless. Limbs stretching unnaturally. It slid toward me, whispering all the names from the B4 chart. I ran into the supply closet. The shadow stopped outside. In the darkness, Mike's voice called out, help me. The old nurse's warning echoed in my mind. I covered my ears, eyes shut. The voice called again, my mother's voice, then my supervisor's, then Mike. I didn't answer. After minutes that felt like hours, the voices faded. Dawn broke. The ward felt warmer, brighter. B4 was empty. Every patient gone except patient X, whose bed was now also cold and untouched. I left Cityview for good. But sometimes, I dream of Ward B4. The phone ringing, the shadows moving, the list of names, and my own at the very end.
Every hospital has stories. At St. Briar's, the oldest tale was about a hidden ward, one that even most staff didn't know existed. They said it only appeared at night, and only to those who were truly lost. I was only 9 when I first heard this story. That winter, my younger brother Jamie disappeared from his room after surgery. The nurses said maybe he sleepwalked, but no one saw him leave. Security and staff searched every floor, every closet, even the boiler room. Hours passed. Then a janitor whispered, "Check the old wing." The head nurse paled, shaking her head. There's nothing there anymore. But on the hospital's oldest map, there was a hallway that didn't match the real building. A door should exist, but there was only a solid wall. Or so it seemed. Late that night, I returned alone. As I ran my hand across the wall, I felt a cold breeze, and suddenly, the bricks gave way. A dark, narrow passage appeared. Inside, the air was freezing. The hallway stretched endlessly, lined with old gurneys and medical charts from decades ago. At the end, a single light flickered above a battered sign. Ward 0. Rows of empty beds, some with faded toys, others with dusty oxygen tanks. As I crept closer, I saw shapes under the sheets, motionless, but not quite gone. Somewhere in the dark, I heard Jamie's voice, "I'm here." I ran toward it, tripping over old charts. His bed was at the far end, but his eyes looked strange, too large, unfocused. Behind me, a tall doctor in an old-fashioned white coat appeared, his face hidden by a surgical mask. His voice was cold. "No visitors after midnight." The doctor moved between beds, whispering to each patient. Some disappeared beneath their blankets. He stopped at Jamie. "You want to leave, or do you want to forget?" Jamie looked at me, silent tears falling. I grabbed his hand and shouted, "We want to go home!" The doctor's eyes glinted behind his mask, unblinking. Suddenly the lights burst. The beds shuddered and the hallway spun. I dragged Jamie through the swirling dark as the doctor's shadow reached out behind us. We stumbled into the real hospital hall. The wall behind us was solid again. Jamie gasped for air, his eyes finally clear. Doctors said Jamie had been in his room all night. No one believed what we saw. Later, I checked the old patient log. Every few years, a child's name vanished without a trace. Years later, I work at St. Briar's.